In my last video, I showed you a rest stop that I spent the night in. And so it's early morning. I'm heading up the road to find the first gas station to sell me a coffee. Today's destination is Parksville. I've got a photo shoot there, so I need to be there about 3 o'clock. I can go pretty slowly, but it's a short distance, so I'm just probably going to go straight there. Well, I ended up stopping for coffee number 2, but this demonstrates both my bus and a Sprinter are able to drive through a typical McDonald's drive-through. So that's steam coming out of my engine. I have a hose that needs repair, so I'm going to have to go to Canadian Tire, which means that I'm kind of stuck in a parking lot like this until a place like Canadian Tire opens up. I'm going to have to look and see what time they open. Anyway, that's my first short. I'm probably almost the first guy here. In fact, I'm the second guy in the store when they opened the door. So now I'm looking for the automotive department. So I got to Parksville and my model had to cancel for health reasons. And so I've driven 150 kilometers for nothing, basically. So I decided to take the ferry back to the mainland, back to Vancouver, and this is the road to the ferry. This terminal is called Duke Point, and because of the epidemic, the number of sailings has been reduced to half or less than half at the moment. So it might be crowded. There's the sign. It says it's a one sailing wait perhaps, and usually that means it's at least one sailing. It's 20 feet. No, I wasn't able to make one. No, it says on the website, you can't make a reservation. Yeah. On every ferry. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do. A couple of bottles, too. Nope. Well, I've got them from the last trip. But okay. Now she measures my bus to see that I am only 20 feet. So because I'm neither over height nor over length, I get on for the same price as the smallest little compact car. So this is the view that I get for the next 4 hours waiting for a ferry to finally take me away to the mainland. Well, it's the next day. I'm inside my bus, kind of reclining in the front seat. I've got the window closed because of the wind outside. My passenger door is open, so you're going to hear cars going by, but there's not enough wind passing by the phone if I don't open the window to make a lot of wind noise. So I had suggested the other day that I was going to make a video about where to park, and that's because in the last week or so, in fact every summer, I get a lot of questions both in person when people walk up to me, and questions within my comment section on my YouTube channel. So I figured I would talk about where I park, and maybe it'll give you some insight into where you can park or how you can plan to park when you're traveling around in a fashion similar to mine. Now, some people have asked me specifically, like, where do you sleep when you're in Victoria? What I don't do and what I won't do is specifically describe the exact location that I choose. I never know whether or not it's legal or appropriate or I'm safe where I'm parking. I simply park where it's comfortable. I feel comfortable and safe in my bus, so I'm not really worried about the neighborhood. But if I do find a beautiful spot to park, or in fact any place to park, the absolute last thing I want to do is have all of my followers on YouTube, or just simply people who came across my video, parking in the spot that I parked in. The problem with that is that eventually, if not right away, if too many people are parking in the same spot, then the nice place that I found, you are going to destroy by following me there. So what I don't want to see is these opportunities for people being lost because van dwellers keep arriving and flooding the same area. And once that happens, every city I've been in has changed their rules. Every single one of them. So when van dwellers share precise spots, especially pretty ones, those are always lost to future generations of van dwellers. Now, it doesn't really hurt me. I can find another beautiful spot because I'm good at it. I don't, how would I put it? I don't overthink the whole process. I just find a place that's convenient for me to park, and I park there. Sometimes it's right on the beach. Sometimes it's a little further inland, and sometimes it's just a block or so from the beach. Most of the time it's very close to a beach because that's where I like to hang out. Sometimes it's on a street that's quite busy, and there's apparently going to be a lot of traffic. So if you're trying to find a place that you can park from 6 o'clock at night until 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to be inundated with a lot of sound. But I get there quite late, traffic's died down, there's almost no vehicles, and then I get up in the morning and I get out of there. So people in Vancouver, they know, the people here in my community know where I park because they'll see me on the street when they drive themselves to go somewhere, or they're driving home or whatever. So the community knows where I go to park when I'm here in Vancouver, and no one seems to care. That's the truth about where you're parking. No one cares. That's the logic that you should first think of. But it's only going to be reasonable logic if you're considering all the people who might care, such as you keep parking in front of the same person's house every night. Eventually, they're going to see you there, or the neighbors are going to point out that there's this guy parked out in front of your house. And they're going to come along and they're going to create a problem which would cause the police or bylaw enforcement type officers to come and talk to you and ask you to move. So I don't so I almost never park in front of somebody's house. I think that's actually pretty rude. If I spent a lot of money on my home, don't think I'd want transient people parking in front of it on a regular basis. So I don't have any argument or reason to complain about them complaining about me. I just make sure they have no complaint, that there's no reason for them to complain, and therefore I can probably park wherever I like. Now there's the other thing. People are asking where they can park, and they think they park their vehicle there and then spend 3 days without moving the vehicle. That's a no-no. Always a no-no. That's going to create problems and create complaints. If you drive it some distance and drive it to a new location on a regular basis, such as nightly, if you keep moving, you're not going to be a problem. You're only a problem if you become static and become what we would all call a squatter. You don't own the property or own the parking spot that you decide to hang out in. In fact, that's really offensive, even to an awful lot of people in the van community. Those people who are looking for a camping spot within the city those are the ones that you see on the local news. They're the ones who give van dwelling a bad name. So the last thing I'd want to do is, like, for example, answer a question about parking in Victoria and then find 6 people came along and camped there for a week. It would completely destroy any opportunity other van dwellers have to be parking in a nice spot. Now, it's really sad that I have to say that, but in fact, how would I put it? Those people who are unsure about where to park apparently cause most of the problems, because they don't actually consider other people. They're not thoughtful. They're thinking only about where can I park, tunnel vision, and not realizing that they can basically park wherever they feel like that doesn't bother other people. That, to me, is the only real instruction I could give. There's a lot of people that, like a few cities that I go to, where I don't want to bother finding a place to park. I just go to the local Walmart where I know they don't have any problem. They support travelers and they support people who may need to sleep there. And it's pretty obvious, those parking lots where that's allowed, because there's a lot of motorhomes there. And they're there night after night. So there's that one town like Penticton. I go to a beautiful park and then I go to the Walmart at night when the park closes. And so when I get to Walmart, it's nearly empty because people have finished shopping by that time. And then I wake up in the morning, I want to get to a great spot in the parking lot, so I'll get there when the parking lot opens. So I'm up and out of Walmart's parking lot all day, and I'm hanging out in a park, doing exactly what parks are designed for, recreating. So I park my vehicle, I might get out, maybe put out a chair, stuff like that. But I'm not camping. I don't pull out awnings and everything to create a campsite. And I come and go without barely being noticed again. So there are locations where you can have a great location to park during the day, a great location to park during the night, and keep going back and forth. And that would work pretty well, or it does work pretty well. But you know, I'm never in a city at more than a week or two. The longest I ever stay anywhere other than Vancouver is 2 weeks. In fact, that's where I'm going after I'm here for 1 week to have a few photo shoots, visit with my son. I am going to be going up to Kelowna and Penticton, and I've already been there, so I know where to go to do my photo shoots. and I know where to head to. Like I head to Walmart in both cases for the night. Anyway, the purpose of this video was to try and help dispel people of their worries about where to park. If they think about it logically and think about the store or the business or the home that they're parked in front of when they're in a city, if they think about, like, if you parked right in front of a 24-hour pizza place, which is now hurting the pizza place from being able to sell more pizza because there's no parking spaces in front of their store, they're going to complain. They'll come and knock on your door and say, get the heck out of here. Go park down the block. So you want to be thinking of the people and the businesses around you. And if you do that, you'll almost never get any kind of complaint or have any problems. But if you're thinking only of yourself and you're nervous and you're trying to hide out, you're going to create your own problem. Anyway, that's enough about parking. I've been doing this for 3 years and I've had like zero, well, I've got like maybe 5 tickets. My daily cost for tickets and all that stuff, if I paid my tickets, would be less than the money that I would put in a parking meter for 1 hour in any city. So the cost of your mistake is never going to be that bad if you learned from your mistakes. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hate doing these talking head things and I hate doing just driving, but yesterday was very frustrating. I was not in a good mood. When I did get on the ferry, for example, I walked up the stairs, which is the deck. It was a 6th deck number 6, which means that I walked up about at least 60 steps straight up, which causes my legs to get a bit tired. Then I turned the wrong way on the boat and walked to the back of it. It's about a 300-foot boat, so I walked about 150 feet to get to the back of the boat, only to find that coffee shop was closed. Then I walked to the front of the boat, which is another 300 feet or 100 meters, and I got to what do you call it? A ribbon that said, like, basically I walked the wrong way. So I now had to walk back about another 100 feet to get to a lineup that was like 100 feet long. So just to get a coffee, I got way too much exercise. I was really frustrated. I was already annoyed that I had driven 150 kilometers to end up with a canceled photo shoot, and I could have gotten a boat from Victoria at like early in the morning and not had any of the lineup wait. So I was not a very happy camper yesterday, and I'm still grumpy today, but at least I'm sitting in some sun and I got to talk to you a little bit about where to park. So have a great day. You get a thumbs up for watching. Give me a thumbs up for if you like the video, and I'll try and do something more interesting tomorrow. Have a great night.